and welcome back to the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast for our review, results, and ratings, if we watched it, of WWE Crown Jewel 2022. I am joined this evening by a 9-time champion to my, well, your left, my leftish, I guess.
Yeah, let's go with that. Chicken. Man, I was really hoping I could slap that damn title on my shoulder tonight, but just
Well, you know who
a
else
little
can't
shy.
do that? The former champ, one
Yeah.
Phil KOE, who you'll notice is absent from this broadcast. But you know who is here? The non-Kappa friendly, the quadruple distilled, non-chill filtered Tony fucking G. And your new Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast champion for the 14th time. No longer a 13 unlucky time champion. Now your current reigning defending 14-time RWP champion.
Congrats. Yes.
Thank
Just
you much.
Eked it out.
Eked it. You know what? I would have even had the fucking tiebreaker had it come down to that. All right?
Yeah, that's true.
And I almost called the one that I got wrong. I almost called that one too. But we'll get in. We'll get into it.
Yeah, we'll get into all those.
Fair. So, folks, if you missed it, about 11 a.m. this morning, kicked off Crown Jewel 2022 in Saudi Arabia. This had some big match fights on it, honestly. And I tried to watch as much as I could. I got about 3/4 of it. So you're going to have to clue me in on some of the happenings on a few of these matches. But I got pretty much the gist of the important stuff.
Yeah. So the show opened with some big meaty boys kicking off the show, which God, I really thought this might have been the show opener. I almost called it as our tiebreaker, and I was like, no, they'll do the women's tag. They've done that so many times, like that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But no, it opens with Brock versus Bobby.
Now, I was kind of thinking the same thing too. I thought for a fleeting second, maybe this will open just so Brock can get the hell out of there. But this is too big to put at the open. Sure enough, that was the plan. Brock opens this thing up to get the hell out of Dodge as soon as his match was over. And this was, you know what, this was a good one to start with retrospectively, because this is going to be, other than Roman Reigns and Logan Paul, really your biggest name is easily Brock Lesnar. So start strong, because it's not like they brought any legends back. You didn't have a Goldberg, obviously no Undertaker. So this was as big name as it got outside of your Undisputed Universal Champion. So this makes sense. And this match overall was the quintessential Brock Lesnar once in a while match. It had all the big spots, the barricade spear, there's a slight injury. And I mean, really, less than 10 total different moves.
And you shouldn't be doing too much more with these guys, honestly. It's just,
no, you don't need to. Like, Brock
you don't
Lesnar
need
and Goldberg.
Yeah, you don't need a 20-minute marathon on this match. Like,
no, this didn't need to be a Broadway, obviously. And especially considering now these guys have fought twice. Bobby Lashley picked up the W the first time with a bunch of chicanery. This time, Brock Lesnar gets the W. And there's nothing really wrong with this match. Honestly, the timing was a little off in a few spots, but Brock knows his way around and has enough depth perception that he's usually able to save stuff when it's about to go awry. So, I really don't have any complaints about this one. This one was good for what it was. Now, given that, I do want to see a trilogy between these guys. Mm-hmm. And we kind of talked about this. There needs to be some fucking stakes. Now, I don't think you're going to see a title match on the line, but I think this would be a great one to have at WrestleMania as a close up to a trilogy of matches between these two guys.
Yeah, and I think Bobby's already hinted at this. The feud's not over, and I think I already saw a couple of things on social media, them like hyping up future match. We'll see when it comes, either Rumble, WrestleMania, whatever that turns into. I tell you what, though, I just hope it's got more intensity. Like I
agreed.
I feel like this one, they were kind of phoning it in. It's the opener of the Saudi. Yeah. Maybe there's some jet lag. I don't know. Overall, he gave the match 2.5. Like, it wasn't bad, but okay. I just didn't care. Neither of them seemed like they cared too much. It was. I don't know.
To an extent, I agree with that. Like, it's the opener. There's nothing on the line, and
Yeah.
it's two guys that have been champions
Yeah,
multiple times. So,
like I said, if
yeah,
we're gonna do a rubber match on this, they one of them needs to have a belt. Now, granted, you're not gonna see anything come off of Roman, right? So
right.
it's got to be the U.S. belt, or are they gonna do something with the
I
Intercontinental
I think at this
Championship,
point, it
young
feels like a
Gunther?
Brock Lesnar, it would be a demotion. I mean, you could say it's
Yeah,
adding legitimacy to the title, but for Brock Lesnar at this point in his career,
yeah, it
it's
is.
a clear demotion. So at this point, this is one of those things where you could really make a strong argument for something like a Legends title. Like you bring if Undertaker was still coming in, or Goldberg, he's still got a few matches he'll probably end up doing. Lesnar works a pretty light schedule. Like those are the kinds of
God,
guys
do
a
we
Legends
need
title would
to?
actually make sense.
Do they need to go all AEW and just make a belt for everything?
No, God, no. They
It's
need to axe about half the belts that they have right now. But if you're gonna do something different, like that would make sense. But I don't want to water it down. And it would be kind of a fuck you to a Brock Lesnar because he is still world championship caliber. But yeah, it's not gonna be for the world title. So you've got to put the stakes. It's got to be for something better than a belt. And now
yes.
neither one of these guys has to retire, so you can't really go that route. I don't know. They're gonna have to get creative. They're gonna have to put some stakes on the line. It could be the main event of a night one if you're gonna do it at a WrestleMania. But I even then, it's got to have something on the line.
It's got to
So
have a better build.
yeah, better build for sure. Now they did work the knee a little bit, and he did get the hurt lock on him, and he got out of it. But overall, yeah, it was pretty cut and dry. I gave it 3.25.
Okay, you're pretty
I liked
generous.
it. I
Yeah.
liked it, but yeah, it didn't have. It wasn't a blow off. So yeah, I do. It left me wanting more for sure.
Absolutely. Next match, women's tag team. Again, I just missed it by a
Yeah,
freaking hair. I thought this would be the opener, but
I really wish I would have gone with my first instinct on this because when Asuka and Alexa Bliss, my girl, representing, won these belts just the other day, I'm like, did they seriously put the belts on
oops,
them just so
just
they
to
can
take them
drop
off.
them at Saudi Arabia so that they can say, "Hey, we did a title change in Saudi Arabia." I'm like, "No, no, okay, so no, 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 they're not going to do that." Sure as shit, that's exactly what they did. Damage Control picking up the W here and the belts in. Well, let's be frank, this was all right.
Yeah,
I didn't catch the whole thing, and what I saw wasn't bad. You made mention Alexa had a great spot there.
that code red. Wow,
Yeah,
that sunset flip bomb. Damn, it
it looks a
looked
little preposterous
great.
her doing that, but damn, it was good.
Yeah, it was great. I was like,
Yep.
"Whoa, where'd that come from?" She had a really cool tornado DDT that, usually those get oversold a little bit, but no, like it actually looked a little natural on there.
Mhm.
I thought Alexa looked really strong in here. The one thing with Alexa that bothers me, she's always waving her arms whenever she runs. That's a little
Yeah.
distracting for me. But outside of that, like she was on point tonight. I thought she was doing a great job. I love they did the little they did a pre-show interview, and you get the little Bray White tease and the TV behind her, and she kind of looked at the TV and kind of had that like I'm annoyed but scared look. They're like
Mhm.
they're still hanging on to all of these different storylines, so we don't know what's going to happen with her, which kind of makes it more fun. And the fact that she was actually like she was on point. That her timing was great. There was a couple of little things which everybody has in a match, but overall, I thought she was spot on.
No, totally fair. She doesn't. She gets a lot of criticism because of her size. Now, I can
Hmm.
totally understand it, and like I said, it looks a little preposterous on some of the stuff that she does. Because when she really hit her peak, when she was the champion, it was because it was in spite of her size. She had help. She used backwards tactics. When she's a baby face and she dominates her opponent, like, no, that doesn't make nearly as much sense. But this is post paranormal activity, Alexa Bliss. So you've really got to suspend disbelief. And I've always liked her, regardless what she does. She commits to her role no matter what. So I really appreciate her for what she's able to do. And even though she's undersized, she's a damn fine worker. I got no complaints with her. It's nice to see Asuka back in the fold because she's such a solid in-ring talent. And I really don't have a lot of complaints about damage control, frankly. Like, there's something you could do with them as the champs. I like it, and I actually do like the idea of them having the belts. So I have no problem with this.
Yep. And so yeah, they overall damage control takes the win. I Other than the ending, I thought the ending started getting a little clunky. But overall, I thought this was pretty good. I'm gonna give it a 3.5.
I'm gonna give it a conservative 3. It was fine. Uh, they're hindered in what they can do, and
Hmm.
given the fact that they played hot potato with the belts just to do this, that
Yeah,
did kind of
that's
annoy me.
annoying. You should lose
So
0.25 for that. So I'll go 3.25. Is that
yeah, that's
they
fair.
deserve to lose points on that because this is
Which,
dumb.
had you done this match on, like, say, Survivor Series and not played hot potato with the belts, I think it would have driven the point home a lot easier. So I have no complaints overall, but I would have done it slightly different.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see what continues on as we head into the next pay per view and whatever
It's hard to
shenanigans.
tell, like, you're right. I like what they're doing with Alexa, not letting you know what the fuck they're actually going to do with her. I maintain, I think it's a misdirect. I think they're teasing her turning back into Scary Bliss.
Yep.
I'm hoping and praying this time around it's Liv Morgan, because I always felt like she was better suited for that role. Now, don't get me wrong, Alexa nailed it with how she portrayed the character. She committed to it full force, but I always felt like that would have been much more ideal for a Liv Morgan. So we'll see. I hope it's a misdirect and they go that route this time, because we've seen it. We've seen it with Alexa, and we still don't even know what they're doing with Bray Wyatt. And you'll have to fill me in on that, because I missed the Bray Wyatt segment, but we will get there
It was.
shortly enough.
Can we just get it out of the way? It was the same thing as every time he comes out. It's just me being a real guy. I'm Bray Wyatt. And he got a little bit more amped up and charged up, and his tone is changing a little bit. But like and then all the scary mask face on the
Right.
TV says a bunch of gook that nobody knows what the hell he's talking about, and that's it. We're doing it. This is what, the fifth time now. Like the first two times were kind of cool. The third time you're like, all right, like what are we getting at? Um,
It's permeating. Like, they're building to something here. They're teasing it, but they're not giving away any details on what they're actually going
you
to
know what
fucking do. They're leaving you guessing.
the most disappointing part was the voice behind the scary mask guy was Bray's voice. So
But that doesn't necessarily mean that the character is going to be
I
Bray. Like,
know,
there's
but
so many misdirects
like,
with
are
how
we
they're
gonna
doing this.
do a
I
Bray
like
versus
that.
Bray? Like, is
You're
this
right to an extent. Like, nothing is being solved. He's feuding with himself mostly here, and if it ends up just being him, that's going to be a little disappointing. Just another iteration of him. Yeah, I'm going to be
mm-hmm.
disappointed. The rumors of it being fucking Malachi Black, I doubt are going to end up being true. Although Uncle Howdy does slightly look like him, it could be fucking his actual uncle Barry
Mm.
Windham. It could be Bo Dallas's brother. I don't know. I'm intrigued. I'm interested. I want to see the finale of this faction coming together. And the beautiful part of it, you're annoyed with it, but it's still just fucking Bray Wyatt. But there's a faction being built here. There's people coming together, and eventually
I'm
it's
just
gonna be
impatient.
a faction.
Yeah, I'm just getting impatient with it.
Right,
It's
right.
not that I don't like the idea of it. It's like,
Sure.
stop giving me the same shit. Like
Right. No,
I'm not
I
gonna tune in to
agree.
watch that. It's the same thing.
But it's still, if it's not the Roman Reigns and the Bloodline segment, Bray Wyatt still has the other best segment on the show, even though he's saying nothing.
And it takes 20 minutes just to get to the
Yes.
ring. Like,
Yes, and
ugh.
I still have a soft spot for Bray. I'm not old. I'm not over it yet. I can definitely understand why people are, though.
Yeah, it's getting to that point. We might be going a little out of order. I'm just gonna follow what this
That's fine.
the screens got popped up just to make it easier on us.
Oh, and Phil got his 1 point. I think he only ended with 1 point on that damage control match by
Yeah,
accident.
by accident got that one, but that was early, and so we were all tied at one after two matches
Yeah.
in. We're like, oh no, oh no, what
Oh
if Phil
god.
does pull us out? God.
Oh my god. This match, fucking Omos versus
Mm.
Braun Strowman.
It was
The
almost
god
good.
I swear to God, this blew my mind because I had such low expectations.
Hmm.
And it's just so mesmerizing because you know how big and beefy Braun Strowman is.
Yep.
And this motherfucker has to look up and get overpowered by this giant, literal giant, and Omos. It's a visual that is just impressive, no matter how badly Omos portrays a wrestler. It has nothing to do with it. It's still just a stunning visual. That being said, 3/4 of this match was almost squashing Braun Strowman.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just beat the piss out of Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
Braun Strowman made almost look like he was almost actually a wrestler today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You said it.
What did I text you guys? I was like, I think we found out who can make it almost look good. Like,
Who thought it would be the other biggest guy on the fucking roster?
yeah.
You would think it'd be somebody like an AJ Styles, tiny, can throw around, can basically have a match with himself to make almost look good. No, it was basically the immovable Braun Strowman, who's the other biggest guy on the roster, to give him almost a good match.
Yeah, and they built almost to look like, like a brick wall, literally. They like the whole point of this, even though he doesn't come up with the W, was to make him look like he's damn near unstoppable, like the Braun Strowman old, like they was that type of build. So and Strowman did a great job selling it. He tried to do the freight train, like come running in and almost just stood there, like
stopped dead in his tracks. That was beautiful.
Yeah, stuff like that. Like that was great storytelling. And this whole thing, this was the sleeper. I thought this was gonna suck. I had zero expectations, and I was actually fairly entertained through this one. I'm gonna give this a 3.25 as well. Like it mainly because my expectation level was nothing. And it sold. This sad to say, this pretty goddamn good match considering everything. Everything equal. Yeah, this wasn't bad.
I'm going to agree. 3.25. Now, I was worried, is Braun Strowman really going to be able to hit him with the power slam? And when he went up, I'm like, oh shit.
Oh
no,
shit. Because that looked really awkward.
It did, but then he hit it and he landed. I'm like, oh damn, that was big. It was good. I have no complaints at all with this, given the fact that Almost is never going to be a great wrestler, ever.
No.
And Braun Strowman has his limitations. So the fact that this was as good as it was, 3.25, fine, agree, because the bar was so fucking low. I was expecting a clunker. I was expecting a pretty big embarrassment. I'm like, this could rival the Shawn Michaels Triple H versus Kane and Undertaker for biggest fucking train wreck in Saudi Arabia. But
right?
No, this actually delivered. Honestly, that went as good as it possibly could have. I don't really think there was anything else that they could have done to make it better.
Right. Then we have up next to review, we got OC versus Judgment Day. I didn't get to catch every piece of this, but
I didn't either.
I wasn't impressed with what I did watch. There was a couple of cool spots. I'm trying to remember who. A couple of them were on the backs, and then somebody was up on the ropes, and they did all of them come down at once. And
I think Priest had Anderson up, and Gallows had Dominic up, and AJ and Finn did the superplex spot at the same time. Everybody else was falling.
Yeah,
so you had all 6 guys hitting the mat
all at once.
It's a neat visual. But
it's probably better for the crowd than it was for the actual match, because
that's the type of shit you do at a house show.
Yeah,
because it's only for the crowd. If you do it during a live show broadcast, it looks preposterous because you can clearly see these guys are all coexisting and being cooperative, and it just takes you right out of it. Now, that being said, I really like the work of Anderson. I think he's underrated, always has been. AJ is one of my favorites of all time. Finn works well with these guys because he knows these guys. Before he was with Priest and Mysterio, he was with Gallows and Anderson, and he knows AJ. So, that all flowed very, very well. My favorite part would have been the very finish. Now, I will say it was a nice tease because it looked like Balor was going to hit the coup de grace, and you could tell that he wasn't quite going to get it. That was nice. So when he finally did, because Rhea gets involved, she's brilliant. I love her. She was perfect here. and they timed it very, very well. And the coup de grace this time to AJ, spot on. This was one of the best I remember seeing in a long time.
Yep, it
The
was
way
good.
he stuck it and slid out, it looked like he hit him with every bit of force and weight of his body. It was perfect, but you could tell he did it in a safe enough way. AJ was fine. That was a brilliant one, and it was the right finish, mostly because I called it against the odds. Thank you very
Nice.
much. No, honestly, I didn't. Dominic Mysterio was obviously the I don't want to say the hindrance. He did what he needed to do, but he was off a little bit. Gallows was also kind of an Achilles heel because he's big and he's a force, but there were a couple spots where he really just wasn't on point. But
Yeah.
everybody else, I think, was on fire.
Yeah, they from what I watched, the first probably half was a good mix of all six of them jumping back and forth,
Right.
but by the end of it, it turned into what it really is about. It turned into AJ Balor.
Yeah.
That's what the story is. That's all that mattered on there, and then Rhea getting involved. So like at least that followed the cadence that it should have. So I wasn't disappointed with that. The ending, though it wasn't what I picked or what I thought was going to happen. Yeah, you're right. That spot at the end there, that was really good. Yeah, I from what I watched of it, I don't know. I wasn't overjoyed with it, but I didn't think it sucked. It was
No, it didn't suck.
I'd say
it's a
solid
multi-man match.
It's a solid 3. Yeah, it's a train wreck match. Yeah, I give it a solid 3 though. Maybe I was gonna say 2.
I'm gonna go 3.
I'm gonna go 3. I'll stick with 3
because I think this is one of those instances where if you shook it up just a little bit and you gave me Priest and Balor versus Anderson and AJ, like that would be a great tag team match. But with the without any outside interference or managers, like just those 4 guys in a tag team match, like that would be great. But with your Rhea Ripley, like you've got such a presence on the outside. I saw a clip of her the other day. She's on the outside. She'd just been knocked down. And it was a fan's perspective with her camera phone. She reaches under the guardrail to some dude's shoes, hits the string, and untied this dude's shoes. Rolls back and got up.
Yeah.
It's just those subtle little things that you can't teach shit like that. You either get the psychology and you get those little things. It's just a silly little fucking prank to play on a fucking audience, but it's those little things. And she's having fun and she's doing a lot of great stuff here. Like she's out of everybody in the group, I think as doing as little as she does, probably getting the most out of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The littlest things are going really far, and everybody's got their eyes on her, whether she's in the match or not, all the time.
Yeah.
Which that's perfect. That's her role is the perfect role for her. And then when she does get back into matches later on, if there's a Charlotte feud or whoever it may be,
fingers crossed.
Yeah, it's gonna be great when it finally does come around because the eyes have been on her for so long. She's done so much. Yeah. This is gonna be good. Next up, I actually really fucking enjoyed this one. This is
I
great.
did not get to see much of this, and I kind of wish I would have because I'm sure this was actually pretty good.
So it was, it started off with a lot of that technical wrestling kind of early, which, whatever. That's not always a bad thing. But going through here, the parts that I like the most, this is gonna, I don't know, you may hate this, you may love this. So they started chanting for Sammy, even though he hadn't shown up anywhere in the night.
Yeah, he's not there.
And then I don't know if you saw the clip from him when they all kind of like started laughing and broke character on.
Yes,
on
that was beautiful. You're not feeling very Usi.
Yeah, the whole crowd started chanting Usi. The whole crowd started chanting Usi, and Jay about lost his fucking mind. It was great. He's like, "It ain't no fucking Usi." It was so
I loved everything about that. Sammy's so brilliant when you can let him. He's good doing stupid WWE writing scripts. Yeah, he's good at that. He can even make that god awful writing sound good. When you take that handcuff off and you let him kind of just say what he needs to say, you get gold. You get fucking gold. He broke both Jimmy and Jay and Roman in one fucking sentence. That was brilliant.
Yeah. Outside of that, Holland did this really cool. He lifted Jay and Jimmy simultaneously, and
Really?
did a slam. That was pretty cool. He caught or Butch caught Jimmy mid-air in a triangle choke, and then got a super kick from Jay. Like the timing of some of this
Ooh.
was actually pretty cool. Some of them are good. Would be worth going back and checking out.
Okay.
Trying to think here if there's anything else. It was the top rope 1D for the pinfall for the Usos. Overall, I really did enjoy this. Like, it was, the technical wrestling was good, the story was good, the crowd was into it. You know, there was a good part of the match where you're like, holy shit, are they going to take the belts off him? Is Brutes actually going to win? Like, they did a good job trying to get you to believe it, even though we all know it's not going to happen. There's that little itty bitty grain of sand in the back of your mind.
Disbelief a little bit, even though you know better. Then they're doing their job.
And actually, the announcers did a good job trying to push that through too. Like, overall, I thought all the way around, this was fun. This is a good one to go back and rewatch. I'm an easy 3.5 for me. This was a really fun one.
Okay, fair enough. If anybody has any comments they want to throw at us, let us know. Drop them down. Yeah, maybe I will have to go back and watch that one. I caught the very tail end of it. I saw them with the belts, so I knew they won. That was it.
Yeah, you didn't even have to see them with the belts, and you know they won.
Well, yeah. I mean, there was zero chance of them dropping. So
yeah, zero. Next up, we'll talk. We had Drew McIntyre.
I caught the second half of this.
Did you?
Now, this was already going when I jumped in, like I said. So I didn't get to see the entrances. Did anything happen on the intros or the entrances or at the beginning that I need to know about?
No, nothing that I remember seeing. It was pretty basic. He come out with a sword like always, and what's her name at ringside, screaming and yelling, and it was pretty bland.
I did like the way that.
Now, I guess the one thing is when the cage came down, it was Drew came over instead of the ref, and he's the one that closed the cage door. Like it was very purposeful. Like, I got you in here now before they locked it,
right.
which
I like
it didn't play out with the rest of the match, but whatever.
So yeah, what I did see didn't look like it was Karrion Kross like trying to get away. He's trapped. It didn't feel like that. I can understand what you mean by that. So
yeah, because Karrion Kross was actually on the offensive through a good chunk of this match.
Okay, I wondered because when I came in, he was on top. So now I did like the finish of this. I didn't love the way they did Scarlett up on the apron, shaking the cage. How stupid are you, Drew? Why are you getting distracted? You know what she's doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I feel like they could have done something a little different. She could have at least had enough reach to reach in and grab an ankle or something, just rattling it. Now, I like the spot, but I didn't love the way they went about it.
Yep.
So he eats, he fucks up, he gets eaten. Now, when he tries to get out of the cage, she hits him with the fucking pepper spray again, hits the ref on the outside with the pepper spray. He falls back, he doubles over in pain. He's just, oh God. And then Karrion Kross is crawling out, smiling, and then Drew completely recovers from being maced.
Yeah, just like that. It was fine,
Yeah, I'm like, it shouldn't have been mace. All you got to do in this instance, all you have to do, he's about to get out, she comes over, she slams the door hits him in the head, he falls back. That you can recover from.
Yep. Didn't have to do the mace thing.
But... Did not have to do the mace here. They did, though. Whatever. So she locks the door, takes the key. You can't get out. So now he's like, well, fuck it. I'm going to climb out. Oh, well, shit. Now he's going to get out. Now I got to unlock the door. So she unlocks the door. Drew jumps off the side. His feet hit before Karrion can dive out and hit the floor. So Drew picks up the W. This isn't a strong win for Drew. Now they've traded wins. This is WWE, so this is what they do. It's 50-50 booking. Obviously, there's going to be a third match. So, that being said, I think it's a pretty safe and predictable prediction to say Karrion Kross is going to get the W in the end of this thing. Just given how big of a non-win this was. Yeah, Drew got the win tonight. But
well, he kind of had to get a win on a pay-per-view. This is his first 1 in 5.
Oh, God, that's so sad.
Yeah.
That is so sad. And that's the one thing I don't like about escaping the cage.
Well,
I do,
okay.
because it doesn't even feel like a win.
The
'Cause
whole
he
point of the
barely
cage,
wins.
the whole point of the cage is to keep fucking Scarlett away
Right.
and to keep her from
And it
being
didn't matter.
part of it. And it didn't matter because Drew's too stupid. His character just was like, oh
Yeah,
no,
they've made him
Scarlett's
into a
out there.
bubbling idiot.
Yeah, so it doesn't help his character at all.
No.
Both of them hit their signature moves in this match, and of all the times, like this whole point was like to escape the cage, but they're trying to do pinfalls throughout this match. But when they hit their signature moves, neither one of them tried to fucking pin the other guy. Like there were so many things in this that I just like.
Yeah.
I'm like, God damn it! What is this?
Yeah, that's why I've never really appreciated the escape the cage. Because all you have to do is ask the ref to open the door.
And
So
then
what
get
the
out.
fuck is the point of it? Or
Yeah.
climb over.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to lock people in so they can't get away from each other,
But all you have to do is ask it to get open.
just ask for it to open, you get out. So it's just stupid.
Just be like, I want to go get it might as well just be like, hey ref, can you just pull a chair out from under the ring for me? Like, I don't want to go do it. Yeah. Can you set up a couple? Yeah, might as well at this point.
So I get why they did the finish they did, but it made Drew look so fucking weak in victory. That if you go back and you do the cage match the first time and have Karrion Kross win that way, it makes sense for the heel to win that way.
Yep.
It doesn't make sense for the baby face, who's supposed to be the one that the other guy's afraid of, to win by narrowly escaping the other one. It just doesn't make you look strong. So while I do appreciate Drew getting a win because he deserves it, I'm going to give this 2.75.
I go 2.5. I was really disappointed. I didn't even think it was that entertaining. There were some big hits, some big slams. There was some fun stuff there. I'm pretty sure Drew had the superplex off the goddamn corner. That was cool.
Yeah,
but there was some good spots, but overall, for everything we just said, all of that's erased and negated because now next time they fight, I'm gonna think of this.
Yeah, exactly.
How dumb this whole thing was.
Yep.
Basically. Next up, we got Bianca versus Bayley.
Last woman standing. So I missed
this
a good chunk of it, thankfully, from the sounds of it. I got to watch the entire fight up the ramp and the box on the ramp.
That was actually kind of funny.
It was funny. It wasn't good. It was
wasn't good, but I was like,
for all the wrong reasons.
I mean, we're doing this. Like, you should at least latch the fucking box if you're gonna throw her in there and expect her not to get out. Like, they did the same. They did another spot with that to where Bayley had Bianca, and it actually kind of looked cool. They took the steel steps and Bianca got trapped behind him and she slammed him up against the ring so it looked like it hit her. So that was kind of a cool spot, and then she fell under the stairs. And so that's when Bayley went and grabbed the ladder and put it over the top. Like, maybe that's going to trap her and keep her in. And that didn't work. She got out of that 2 different times. I don't know. There were some okay spots on here, but I thought overall, what they're doing, one, I get it. Bianca's a world beater. She's the strongest woman that we've ever seen as champion. We've seen her completely destroy all the girls on the the last pay-per-view. She took the whole goddamn team out. Now we're supposed to expect that through this special rules that that was the whole point of doing the rule thing, is so you can go, okay, Bayley has a chance now. Bayley could win by cheating and doing something crazy. But there was never a moment in this match I really believed Bayley was going to win.
Yeah, that's just it. There's no it doesn't feel like there's any risk here of Bianca losing. You're right. 100%.
Well, not only that, even the storytelling of it, how the match went, they push Bianca to look so strong. I get it, but you want to see your hero down. You want to see your hero oh no, it's not going to happen. And they tried so hard, but Bayley grabs a ladder, she grabs a kendo stick, she gets a chair, she gets a fucking table, and just like classic Bayley fucking fashion, she gets beat up with all of the shit that she gets out. It just fucking Bianca looks so over on this one. And I'm like, God damn it.
They've
Like
booked
it's not even
her.
fun. It's not competitive. It just doesn't feel like there's why are we even doing this? Like Belair's just so strong she can just throw everybody off of everything. Like
Which bothers me because they're booking her to be the strongest of the female division, right?
mhm.
Not the most nasty or powerful, just so strong. But they're also ignoring that in favor of having her matches play out like she's the smartest wrestler.
Right.
Because like this reminds me a lot of like if anybody ever saw Christian booked in TNA, he wasn't the most physically imposing, but he had such a cool charisma about him, and he could outsmart every opponent just by doing something wacky that you didn't see coming.
Yep.
And that's kind of how they book Bianca. She outsmarts them, even though she's supposed to be the one overpowering everybody. So it's kind of a double edged sword, and it's like one negates the other.
Well, and
Pick your lane.
They make Bailey's character look so dumb when they do it
Exactly.
this much. It was a bit much. Like the bad
So
guy's
this
always
was,
kind of supposed to be a little dumb sometimes, unless their character's over,
yeah,
too witty. But this was like Bailey's dumb. She's not very strong. She sucks at everything. She like it was just like it made
they have
Bailey
booked her
look
under.
so bad. So bad.
So they called back the
You might as
previous
well
match.
fucking put her up against Goldberg tonight. I mean,
Yeah. So they call back to the last match, the ladder match, which didn't need to be reminded to
no,
anybody.
that was
And the
terrible
finish
too.
is Bailey gets put in the ladder. She gets sandwiched in the ladder. Bianca closes it down on her and then slides the ladder under the ring ropes.
Yep.
So she can't get up. It's last woman standing. So she's trapped. She can't get up. She can't beat the count. She loses. I liked it, except she didn't push her far enough under. And it was crystal clear that she could have gotten out at any fucking time. So here's my thing. You've had 2 matches between these gals. The ladder match last time, and now the last woman standing match. Why the fuck have they done 2 bad stipulation matches with 2 women who didn't have enough chemistry to pull the stipulation off when you didn't even do a standard match?
And
at
now,
all?
if you book a standard match, there's no way I'm ever going to believe that Bailey stands a chance.
Exactly. So they built the match that they should have done last and did it first. Then they did the follow-up in the
Yep.
middle. And now if they have a trilogy, it's going to be a standard match. And it's going to feel like, oh, that's disappointing. But here's the thing. If they just do a standard match to end this, that'll be the best one, hands down.
Probably.
Just let them wrestle because they're both actually very good wrestlers. Instead, we've got to incorporate a bunch of fucking hardware and stipulations and do a bunch of wacky spots, Scooby-Doo style, to get the wins and the finishes. I don't love that. Anybody watching, you want to drop in a comment if you agree. If you don't agree, feel free to. But I didn't love this match. This has been largely disappointing, Bianca and Bailey, because I had higher expectations. I really did. It is
Yep.
what it is, and I really wouldn't feel cheated if they didn't have the third match at this point.
Yeah, I'm okay with moving on at this
I'm
point.
going to give this 2.5.
Yeah, some of the biggest disappointing things. I don't know if you saw the spot where they had a golf cart. Like Bailey comes
Yes.
out with a golf cart, and the fucking thing was so slow. Like it was so bad.
It's
Like
not good.
it was not good at all. And then the other one was Nikki Cross comes out when Damage Control. She helped Damage Control win, right?
Yeah.
So why wouldn't Nikki Cross make an appearance in this one?
Yeah.
Like, and make it more compelling, even if Bailey still loses. At least something else to like make this more compelling. Nope, nothing. Like, so what was the point? Like,
exactly.
Why would Nikki Cross try to help somebody win tag team champions? Like, what the fuck? Wait, like you would think that needs to go towards women's championship. Like, to me, that didn't make a lot of sense. I thought it would have been more compelling because then you could have had a 3-way if she accidentally screws Bailey out of it right away, right when she comes back, and then all of a sudden she's into the scene. Like, you could have done so much.
You kind of almost have to incorporate somebody else into this thing now because they've done a ladder and a last person standing. So where do you go from here?
Yeah, they kind of screwed the pooch on both.
So yeah, they almost need to incorporate somebody else to make it better.
Yeah, I give it 2.5 stars. Throw this away. I'm done with it. We don't need any more of this.
Tantui 10 Man chimes in, says Bianca and Bailey doesn't work like AJ and Kevin Owens. On paper, it should be beautiful. Yeah, exactly. Because when they first announced this feud, I'm like, shit, yeah, Bailey's great. Love Bailey, and Bianca's good. Yeah, this is gonna be awesome. I'm gonna like this feud. No, they went full bore before allowing these two gals to get a real chemistry. And if
Yep.
you do that, you're setting them up for failure, and that's what they've done twice now. So I think it's time to move on from this feud. I think it's time to let both of them do something else, or at least start interjecting other people, because what they're doing ain't working.
Yep, I agree. And then we get to a surprisingly really fucking good main event. Roman Reigns, Logan Paul, which again, I had zero expectations for. Like I thought I knew it was going to be entertaining. Because both of these guys are stars and they know how to work a crowd. But I was like, let's see, does it work with these two? It does. It works fucking great with these two. I was really impressed.
Mind you, this is Logan Paul's third match
Mhm.
ever.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I didn't know what to expect. I thought maybe they'd give him like 5-6 minutes. For 5-6 minutes, maybe Logan Paul comes out and gets just a out of nowhere shock, big shot on Roman, right? And he almost eats the pin. That lucky shot almost worked, but then it didn't. And then Roman just kind of has to sober back up from getting his bell rung a little bit, and then he dominates and wins. I kind of expected that to keep Logan Paul not looking, too green. Instead, what we got was fucking brilliant. This was outstanding. Logan Paul, in his third match ever, you cannot teach size. This guy's got size. You cannot teach charisma. This guy's got charisma. And you cannot teach, you could try, but unless you just have it, you're probably not going to get it. And that's in ring psychology. And Logan Paul has in ring psychology. He knows how to appeal to a crowd, and he understands when to sell, how much to sell, when to make a comeback, how to make the comeback happen, and how to play to a crowd. Now, granted, I will say there are some spots in this match went a little bit off the rails in terms of doing too much, but they did it in the right way that I didn't hate it. So they have some early back and forth amateur stuff, to establish that these guys are they're about the same size. Roman's just so much more experienced. Hello, Tyler. But Roman always had the upper hand because he's more experienced and he's a little bit bigger. But Logan's hanging with him. I liked that. So the way they were going back and forth, anytime Logan would get the upper hand, and Paul Heyman's on the outside, just like, he's doing brilliant. His facial work, his presence, it's all perfect. What was the big spot in the move in the middle where they started going? I'm drawing a blank now.
Was that when Logan did that like somersault over the ropes and then hit that big clothesline?
Yeah, he did the fucking Hangman Page over the top rope lariat. Better than Adam Page. Fight me.
It looked
Holy
good.
shit. That was great. And every time he'd get a pinfall on Roman, it was a 275 count. It wasn't no 2 kick out, 2.5.
Again, this was one of those matches where you're like, holy shit, are they gonna do it? Like, and even they kept saying that it was only for the Universal Championship. Like they wouldn't say that it was for both belts. And I was like, holy shit. And so I planted that seed of doubt in my mind going, oh my God, what if they actually fucking did it? What if they actually fucking did it? And there was like 2 times where you're like, holy shit, they're going to do it, aren't they? They're going to fucking do it.
It was great. And then when they finally did, you knew that was going to happen. They get on the outside. You've got the Usos. Did the Usos show up before or after the table spot?
I think it was after.
Okay, so
no, it was right before the table spot because that's what led. It was the table spot happened right before the Usos came out because that's why the Usos came out.
Okay, yeah. So they get Roman. He lands. They're on the outside. Roman gets put on the announce table. This took a little while to get going, but I understand why they did it the way they did it. Oh my god, this is amazing.
Yeah, I put her in timeout for spam.
we had such a great offer in the comments on YouTube.
Yes.
Thank you.
18B Sex YZ. Drop the link in the YouTube chat if you guys are interested.
So Logan clears off the announce desk, gets Roman on top of it, and he goes over to the crowd. And he's got his couple of buddies out there. He's got his drink, the hydration drink, Prime, takes a big swig of that, great marketing, grabs his other buddy's cell phone, climbs into the ring, taking a selfie video, climbs up to the top of the turnbuckle. This is amazing. This is the actual video from the phone. Gets up on the top turnbuckle with the phone in video mode and does the giant frog.
Stop me! This is what you wanted!
I
You
love
are viral, Roman!
Holy shit.
Stop!
And he nailed it.
He did. He
nailed it.
Nailed it. That was
Fucking
great.
Nailed a great frog splash from the top turnbuckle to the outside through the announce desk, holding the cell phone, mind you. So he didn't have any protection on that side either. So that was a ballsy move, and he nailed it. It looked great. And yeah, that's when the cell phone got lost, and the guy in the ring's like, "Hey, grab my phone!" And the Usos show up. They pull the two guys out of the crowd, beat the shit out of them, and that's when fucking
Jake Paul's music hits. I
Paul,
didn't know Jake Paul had music, so I was like,
apparently now he does.
Yeah.
He comes
well, it was
out.
great because the music hits and everybody's like, what the hell? Who's coming out? Nobody recognized it, but it just said really big on the wall, Jake Paul. So everybody's like, oh, okay, it's Jake Paul coming. Like, this is so stupid.
So you get Jake Paul comes out, gets in the ring, knocks both the Usos in the fucking chin, and they fall to the outside. That's when Solo Sikoa starts coming down. And he's about to wreak havoc on Jake Paul, but they separate them. Now the Usos are back, and he's trapped between Solo Sikoa, the people holding him back, and the Usos. But out of nowhere, Logan Paul hits the ropes, bounces off, flies over the top, takes them both the fuck out. Beautiful spot. Great area. He's got such good hang time, and he stuck the landing just so well. That's what this guy works a match like it's his 300th match, not his third. He just gets it. Tantui 10 Man says, granted, even Phil, Chicken, and Tony would look like great wrestlers if they all had Roman Reigns and The Miz to work within the 3 matches, but I think Logan has more potential than anyone. But remember, John Jones had the potential to be the best MMA fighter ever, but his personal demons took him out of contention.
A little bit.
Let's see what we're saying in 2 years, but Logan has infinite potential. And Jake Paul and Logan Paul, Bizarre Vark Disney reunion. Yeah.
Wow.
But that's the thing. You see Logan and Jake together, and Jake's telling him, finish this. Like, at that moment, I'm like, holy shit. If Jake can work half as good a match as Logan, fuck me. Put the fucking tag team belts on these guys and ride it. Dude, fucking ride it.
Be fun. That frog splash that he had too.
Yes. It was amazing.
Jesus, he got some hang time on that thing.
Yeah, it looks so good. He hits that. It doesn't get the 3 count. And then how did he get
like a 2.96 count? Yeah.
What was the distraction that cost him at the end? Because he gets back in the ring. Roman hits him with the Superman.
Was it Solo? Did Solo?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Hits the Superman, hits the spear, 1, 2, 3. Roman does retain after just a thrill fest. Like, it did break down a little bit. It didn't have, they weren't adhering to the fucking rules, but whatever. Like, this wasn't a traditional match in that sense anyway. You knew it was going to be more of an attraction. The fact that it was as good of a match as it was speaks volumes.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I totally agree. I'm going to give this one 3.5. Actually, 3.75. I think it's match of the night. This is definitely my favorite match of the night. It deserves the extra 0.25, I think.
I'm going to give it, no, fuck it. I'm giving it 4.
Nice.
I'm giving it the full 4. I loved it. I didn't know that he was going to be able to do what he did and do it as well as he did. I knew he was good. This confirmed it. Logan Paul is fucking
Yeah, I want to see more now. Yeah, I'm not gonna doubt it. It's like when I was like, oh my god, this is gonna happen. This is gonna suck. No, yeah, I want to see more. I want to see what he does next. I want to see who he's up against next. Like, yeah,
Tantui 10-man. Hot take. Logan Paul versus Montez Ford, a main event WrestleMania. Dude, fuck, I'm in.
that'd
Those
be
guys
cool.
would
That
actually
would be
match
really
up
cool.
well. Stylistically and size-wise, it would be perfect. I would
Yeah,
love
that would be
everything
cool.
about that. So yeah, this event did not suck. And that's kind of been the theme. Like they had a speed bump there with a few events, but overall this year, WWE's put on
Pretty solid.
quality events, top to bottom, with a few exceptions. You're getting your money's worth.
Mhm.
And it's not like it costs $50 a month to get 14 matches, and like one or two of them are good, like some companies do.
Yeah, and they're not going for 6 hours.
Yeah, weird. You don't have to do that and give.
I don't need to
everything
watch
away.
18 matches.
Yeah. Wonder who would do that.
I thought 8 was quite a bit, but when I saw 2 of them, the Bobby Lesnar and then almost Strowman, I was like, oh, those are going to be quick ones. So like, it's kind of like 6.5 matches, because those other 2 were just short, big, beefy, run through each other type ones.
Sure.
Yeah.
And if you shore up all the stuff in between the matches,
yeah,
like this would have breezed by.
Oh yeah,
and this was good. This was really good. I can't say that I hated this event at all. I enjoyed pretty much everything about it. Honestly, God, this was one of the better overseas events. This might be one of the better crown jewels ever. Top to bottom.
Any of them that I've watched, this is probably my favorite crown jewel. Yeah,
I think I would agree. That main event was just so fucking good. And it's not like we expected this to be like an ongoing feud. We knew this was going to be a one and done. I doubt that they're going to go anywhere from here, unless they try to do Jake and Logan versus the Usos, which if they do it,
that'd be fun.
Put the belts on the Paul brothers. Fucking do it.
And it looked like they wanted to do Jake and Solo. Like Solo came out wanting Jake. That's fun. That'd be cool.
Let's do that. Yeah. I'm all for it.
That'd be really cool. Sense. Maybe you could have some fun. Didn't Sammy have something to do with Logan in the past? Like you could still even have that going on. Like, yeah.
I find it so fucking perplexing and sad that there are so many wrestlers that are either severely undersized or just want to do all the glorified high spots, and it's just a million miles an hour, and the matches don't make sense, and they're doing fucking constant Canadian destroyers and backflips, and there's no fucking psychology. Yet you've got the likes of Logan Paul, Pat McAfee, fucking Bad Bunny, and Ronda Rousey, and they come in from doing sports, a completely different fucking sport, or music, and they come in and they understand wrestling psychology better than most of the wrestlers on the roster. And why is that? That's because they were fans and they used to watch it at its peak, when it was still about the psychology of the match and the wrestling, not the entertainment and the high spots. So they're coming in with a more classic mindset in terms of how they think wrestling is. So when they come in and they train and they actually go out and have a match, they're doing it in a way that the match is actually supposed to make sense.
Yep.
That's why a Logan Paul can come in and do this. Meanwhile, in other companies, your top guys just do a million super kicks and a bunch of backflips, and everybody cries and whines and tries to get their way, and then politics backstage, and
we should have a press conference about this.
Yeah, they should have a press conference about this. But I digress. I'm just saying, I think it's really sad that people from completely outside of the world of wrestling have a better understanding fundamentally and psychologically what wrestling is supposed to be than most of the wrestlers.
Yep. Can't agree more. Well said, sir.
I hope that people see that for what it is and go, oh shit, maybe we need to change things around. Because when the most popular most popular wrestlers and the best wrestlers in the world right now are either ex-athletes from other sports or fucking just personality entertainers, or the rare few like an FTR or an MJF, and they're getting the biggest pops because they're actually having wrestling matches, shouldn't that be very indicative that
tells you
maybe
something.
things need to change? Yeah.
For sure.
But I've ranted enough. I mean, it's not like I'm the champ or anything. I shouldn't just go off on tangents like that. Oh, wait, I am 14-time champ, baby. I'm never letting it go.
Tony with the CM Punk promo. You're just
I know I am missing the
muff
muffins.
lessons.
Damn it.
Nice.
You know, I did have a cinnamon roll for Runza.
All right. Is it that time, T?
It is that time. But before we go, we should probably make mention we do have coming up very, very soon, Saturday, November 19th, AEW Full Gear. Live on pay-per-view, baby. I don't know if this is going to be a fucking 14-match marathon card again. It probably fucking will be, but
yeah,
we will be back. We will be ready. We will be rolling for AEW Full Gear November 19th. So make sure that you are liked, shared, and subscribed to the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast and any of the Big Buckin' Empire offerings at Linktree/Big Buckin'. You see the ticker down there scrolling below, Linktree/Big Buckin'. That'll take you to all of our links and all of our programming, and you will get to see coming up this Tuesday for midterm election coverage. Big Buckin' Empire presents midterm election specials, so be here for that. And of course, on Thursdays, this man and I typically, hopefully, we're gonna have a fun one coming up, a pre-record possibly about some fun stuff at the Dog and Chicken Show. So don't miss any of that.
Yeah, got some X-Files shit coming your way. Appreciate y'all tuning in. This was great. Hopefully Phil will be around for AEW when we get into Full Gear, and we can have some fun talking some trash again on here. But until then, folks, thank you for joining us. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. As always, love you. Coming for that belt,
14-time champ, baby.